Yo, bro, if you lift super high reps, you'll get jacked. A lot of times there's a lot of confusion about which rep range is the best to build muscle. And today that's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about which rep range is the best to build muscle mass and which rep range should you be lifting in. Now, if you're new to the channel and you're ready to take your fitness to the next level, make sure that you smash a subscribe button. I post weekly fitness content to help you get in the best shape of your life. And if you're subscribed, you won't miss out on any of the content that I'm posting weekly. So like I said, today we're gonna talk about which rep range you should be doing and is the best to build muscle mass. First, we're gonna start off with the low reps. So anything from really 1 to 5 is gonna be a really good way that you can build strength, really build those neurological adaptations that are gonna help the muscle get stronger. Strength progressions are a huge part of building muscle. And if you are not focusing on progressive overload, slowly adding weight over time, it's really gonna slow your progress down, and it's really gonna have a negative outcome on the amount of muscle mass that you build. Working on getting stronger is one of the most foundational things that you need to do in any good strength program. So, like I said, that 1 to 5 rep range is a really good way that we can do that. Now, on the flip side of things, a lot of times people will say that 1 to 5 reps doesn't build muscle. And one of the biggest reasons that people might say this is just because the decreased amount of volume and the decreased amount of time under tension. If you're doing 5 reps, that's gonna take far less time than doing 10 reps. It's just kind of common sense. There's less time under tension, there's less breakdown of muscle tissue from that, and that's one negative outcome that can happen because of these low reps. Now, another reason people might say that low reps don't build muscle is because you can't accumulate enough volume. You have to do a lot of sets in order to get a lot of volume. So if you're doing 3 sets of 8, that gives you 24 reps. If you're doing sets of 3, you would have to do 8 total working sets. So just something to consider when you're doing low reps is that it's not gonna allow you to get volume, and volume is one of the best ways that we can build muscle mass. Now you might ask yourself, which rep range is the best? We're gonna talk about that at the end of the video. At the end of the video, I'm gonna tell you which rep range you need to be doing to see the most amount of muscle gain and the most amount of strength progress. Now, before we hop into the next rep range, if you're ready to take all the guesswork out of your training, if you're ready to stop guessing which exercises, which reps, which combination of movements you should do, I'm gonna leave a link down in the comments below to my training website, Fit Grind Formula. I have full 6-week to mass, 6-week to massive arms. We have a full booty program for the ladies, and we have a shred program coming soon. It takes all the guesswork out of it. Like I said, I'll leave a link down in the comments below, as well as a 10% off discount code. So if you're ready to take all the guesswork out of that, make sure that you go click on that link. Check our website out after you're done watching this video. The second rep range is really that 6 to 12 rep range. This is really your stereotypical hypertrophy range, where a lot of times, this is where a lot of people, if they're trying to build muscle, are gonna spend their time in this 6 to 12 rep range. And for good reason. It's a great way that we can really provide some volume for our muscles. We can still challenge our muscles in a good rep range where we can lift a considerable amount of weights. And the time under tension really is perfect in this 6 to 12 rep range. Say that you're completing 8 reps and you're doing a 2-second eccentric with a 1-second concentric, that's 3 seconds a rep. That's gonna give you around that 24 to 30 seconds of time under tension, which is a pretty good amount of time under tension for you to build muscle mass. Also, say that you're doing 3 sets of 8 or 4 sets of 8, it's easier to rack up volume, which is gonna help provide more of a stimulus for your muscles to grow. So this 6 to 12 rep range is a really good rep range to break down muscle tissue. The 6 to 12 rep range is a really good rep range to build muscle mass. Now on the flip side of things, if you're doing sets of 10 or sets of 12, it's harder to make strength progressions like you would in that lower rep range. And that's one negative thing of this 6 to 12 rep range, is that there's not gonna be as much of a strength neurological adaptation with this. You will still get stronger in that 6 to 12 rep range. You'll build muscle, but like I said, it's not gonna be as suited as that 1 to 5 rep range for building strength. The last rep range that we're gonna talk about is really more of your endurance rep range, where it's anything from like 12 to 15 upwards of 50 to 100 reps. And I think that a lot of times this rep range gets a lot of stigma for being a rep range that can't build muscle mass. This is a rep range where a lot of times people think that endurance athletes should train in this, and yes, they definitely should. If they want to improve their performance in their endurance sport, doing sets of 15, 20, 25, 30, up to 50, up to 100 reps is gonna have a positive impact on their sport. And I think that this rep range gets a lot of stigma for not being a rep range that can build muscle, but I want you to do 3 sets of 20 on your next leg day and tell me how you feel. Tell me if your legs aren't completely trash from that. Doing sets of 12 to 20, 25, 30, upwards of 50 is a different challenge. It's a completely different stimulus on your muscle groups. And that's really what we're looking to do in the gym. If you're looking to build muscle mass, you need to create some sort of stimulus. You need to create some sort of different stimulus that we've done before. If you're doing the same routine day after day, after week, after week, after year, your body's gonna get very accustomed to that, and it's not gonna make the progress that you want. So, doing sets of 15, 20 every now and then in your program, there's gonna be nothing wrong with that, with one thing that you need to take into consideration. No matter what rep range you're doing, the weight should be challenging. If you're upping the reps up to like 20 reps, but you're going super light and you get to 20 reps and you could have done 10 more, that's not gonna build muscle mass. So, whatever rep range you're doing the exercise in, you need to focus on picking a challenging weight that is actually gonna be challenging for 20 or challenging for 10, challenging for 3. No matter what the rep range is, you need to focus on picking a challenging weight. So my final verdict on which rep range is gonna be the best for building strength and building muscle. And that rep range is a mixture of all three. Any good program is gonna take into consideration all three of these rep ranges. That 1 to 5 strength and power work, that 6 to 12 hypertrophy range, that 12 to 20 rep endurance phase. All of these different rep ranges can elicit new muscle growth and new strength progressions. So if you're asking what rep range is really the best to build muscle, it's a combination of all three. The 1 to 5 rep range is gonna be really good at building strength, which is gonna help you lift more weight in that hypertrophy range. It's gonna help you build new neurological adaptations to that weight, and you're just gonna be stronger, which a stronger muscle always has the potential to be a bigger muscle. In that 6 to 12 rep range, that's where we're really gonna rack up some volume and break down muscle tissue, which is gonna help us build new muscle tissue. And really in that like 12 to 20 to 50 rep range is where we're really just gonna throw a wrench in our program. And this is a great way that we can train those different muscle fibers that don't get trained a lot. Those in more endurance, more slow twitch muscle fibers still have some potential to build muscle. And like I said, I used that example. Do 3 sets of 20 on your squats next time and take them heavy to where 20 is pretty much failure, and tell me how you feel. Tell me that that's not gonna build muscle. Tell me that it's not a challenge. Tell me that that's something that only endurance athletes should do. If you do that, I promise that your world's just gonna be flipped upside down. You're not gonna know what to do. You're gonna be bent over a bench, dying, holding on for dear life. So, like I said, any rep range is gonna be great at building muscle. The one key factor that you need to take into consideration is we need to overload. So you need to do just a little bit more than the last time. And also you need to pick challenging weights to where if you're doing 20 reps and it's like could have done another 20 reps, that's not providing any sort of stimulus to build muscle. You have to give your muscle a reason to grow. That is my video on which rep range is best. Now, like I said, if you're ready to take all the guesswork out of your training programs, go click the link in the comments below. I left a 10% discount code as well, where you can take all the guesswork out of it, sign up for a Fit Grind Formula training program, and start seeing real results. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button for me. I'm gonna leave a workout video here for you to watch next up in the corner. That's gonna be the perfect video for you to go watch next, so make sure you go check this one out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.